Everyone's dog is named 360. Like, what is this joke?
I don't know. I was trying to start the episode.
I know, you absolutely weren't.
Should I make you read the intro? I haven't done that in
you
quite
haven't
a few
done
seasons.
That one. No, you shouldn't.
All right.
You are better at it.
Hello and welcome to The Studio Demands It, an exercise in creative thinking where we will conceptualize, pitch, and craft a film or series based on the demands from one of you listeners acting as a hypothetical Hollywood overlord.
Overlord!
Jim, do you listen to this show? Do you technically count as a listener?
I believe I have listened to enough to count as.
Count. Okay, good. That's just for, we'll get there in a minute. As professional screenwriters ourselves and massive cinephiles, we talk movies all the time.
All the time.
And we'd like to believe that we could meet any demand thrown at us. We will be your screenwriters for this episode. I am TC DeWitt, and joining me, as always, is Jim.
Taking over the podcast.
Whoa!
Verzelic.
He knocked me to the floor when he said
That's right. That's right. Today I decided my middle name.
Oh my God, you pushed me over. Like he had to reach across the table and do it. Is this chair loose?
No, it's fine.
You knocked me out of the chair. Hello, everyone. Jim taking over the podcast, bro. Just before we started, I asked Jim if he wanted to do the intro. There's probably less than a dozen. There's definitely less than a dozen. Yeah. Probably less than a half dozen times you've opened the show.
Yeah.
I think initially.
I think it's about once a season.
And we didn't do it last season, I don't think.
Oh, no?
But it really was a case of like, hey, maybe we should alternate this at some point. And you were like, don't make me do this.
Because then every time I do it, it feels like learning to ride a bike all over again.
Hello!
Which is weird, because I know how to read.
Yeah.
I know how to read out loud.
And you know how to ride a bike.
It's true.
I've seen it.
For
whatever reason.
I think it's because you make me do both at the same time.
Riding the bike around while doing the intro?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've said it so many times, like, I know I'm reading off I don't have to look at, I still have to look at the script, but I don't have to at this point. People ask me what the show's about, and I go, it's an exercise in creative thinking.
What is it? What is it about?
What's your show about? Welcome to Studio Demands. It's an exercise in creative thinking. Anyway. For today, that's why I asked Jim if he actually listens to the show, because the listener demand is,
for
I
today,
believe, coming from you, right?
I am the Hollywood overlord.
Well, let me do our little spiel here. Jim, our amazing listeners have given us demands from studios literally all over the world. We actually listed the number of how many demands we haven't done yet last week. And you listening now, you can send us any demand you'd like. Jim, you listening now can send any demand you like, and we will read it and meet it right here on the spot. And when we reach the end of the episode, if we've done our jobs, we will have pitched a full script and story meeting or even exceeding those demands. And when the end of the season comes, your demand could have helped us craft the script that will be greenlit by the fans for our finale. Thank you, everyone who has submitted. We will continue to take your submissions, but today Jim has brought a demand to the table.
Yeah.
And I am definitely on the back foot here because at the very least, I know our subject matter most of the time.
Yeah.
As we've pulled the curtain back more than once now, we know the subject matter at least.
Well, it's in your wheelhouse. It's movies.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen the one where the train arrives at the station?
Yes.
Horrifying.
Yeah. Right?
People scream from theater.
It's coming right at you.
It was coming. We all thought it was going to come out of the screen. Anyway, I've seen that one at least. Don't shake your head, no. I hear the internal monologue like, what are we doing?
No, so I think this is actually sort of our third. It's the third gag of this episode already that I feel like it's totally our sense of humor, but I feel is just a little too deep for most regular people.
A casual listener choosing to listen to this episode first and be like, what are these knuckleheads doing?
Did he really just make a gag out of the great train robber? Not
the train arrives at the station.
Yeah.
I did. Deal with it.
The third movie.
Anyhow, Jim, yes, I have seen movies.
Well, good. The studio's demand is that you craft pitch and make a movie. God, you're right. I should have written this down. Okay, no. So, my demand from Studio Yesteryear.
Okay.
There was a point in the early 2000s where there was a huge kick of nostalgia for old TV shows being brought back as movies.
Okay.
And all of the TV shows referenced were about 25 to 30 years earlier.
Oh, right. So like Brady Bunch and Beverly Hillbillies. Yeah. Oh boy.
So I was thinking back about these, and I got to thinking it's about time, because there is big nostalgia for 90s, mostly 90s media and TV shows.
Right.
So Studio Yesteryear would like you to put together a movie based on a TV show from 25 to 30 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, it's not like we haven't seen such things. You're saying pitch a movie. Okay, so
right. So right now we're in the midst of so a lot of things from then have had kind of things come out. Right, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air has been reimagined into another TV show called Bel-Air. Right. So it's not funny. Serious, yeah. It's a drama.
Yeah.
Do you think? Because I haven't watched it. Do you think Bel-Air has as many funny episodes as Fresh Prince of Bel-Air had serious episodes?
I do think so. I would
That's
bet
awesome.
Without ever seeing
a very special episode where it gets zany.
Whoa! Jazz gets thrown out of the house in this one.
Yeah.
Hey! Having not seen Bel-Air,
yeah.
other than the ad for the first season that came out in 2020,
yeah.
My assumption is off the success of Atlanta, some studio demands like, man, we need an Atlanta episode in here. There are some 2000 shows that, like Curb Your Enthusiasm, started in the year 2000.
Really?
The first season of Curb Your Enthusiasm was the year 2000.
Wow.
Gilmore Girls was in 2000. That had like a Netflix sequel series. CSI is still going.
Really? I thought that finished. Holy dang! Yeah. I thought that finished. I thought after Ted Danson, Gus Grissom came back for a special, and then it was done.
It's 16 seasons. You know, I could be wrong. It could have ended in 2015. In fact, it did.
Oh, okay. Malcolm in the Middle is getting a revival.
Revival series, yeah. But those are all revival series. You're saying
so sort of a corollary to this is because those are kind of being rekindled, those are less interesting to the studio.
Right. So like MacGyver got rebooted fairly recently. Lethal Weapon was a series. Now that's a late 80s, early 90s movie series that was turned into a TV series.
So the first things that occur to me with this are TGI Friday.
TGIF, yeah. The original TGIF.
TGI Friday is a restaurant.
The ABC Friday night lineup of...
And actually, that's not even completely true. Home Improvement was the first thing I thought of. Like, what if they made a movie? Because it's been about the right amount of time.
Oh, well...
Tim Allen would insist on being in it.
But he would just be a cameo, because you know who would play Tim the Toolman Taylor in a Home Improvement movie that is likened to the Brady Bunch movie?
Who?
John Cena. John Cena would be Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. And it could be as...
You did it. You did the episode.
This might be shorter than the Expendables episode, ladies and gentlemen.
5 minutes. Done.
Yeah, and Home Improvement wasn't a TGIF show. That was a primetime sitcom. The original TGIF lineup, God, Perfect Strangers, which spun off to Family Matters, Full House. God, I don't remember what that third one was. And then there was like
Step by Step.
Was that one of the Going Places was the original fourth show, which I think Andrew McCarthy started. And if I'm really tapping into No, it wasn't Andrew McCarthy. It was the guy who's in. This isn't worth remembering. But Heather Locklear was in it too. Oh, Alan Ruck. It was Cameron Fry.
Oh,
And it was a one season, whatever the case. Why do I remember that? I don't know. But like, yeah. Balky Bartakamus, remember him?
I do.
Yeah, Perfect Strangers. So, Full House already had a revival series, Fuller House, and you know what? I don't. Okay, I saw every episode of Fuller House, not of Full House.
Oh, wow.
I was committed.
Strange brag.
It's a weird flex. So
and it doesn't have to be that. We could go something else. It's a bit earlier than the parameters I gave, but Briscoe County Junior
yeah,
hasn't gotten a revival or any sort of thing. So you do know the exec at this studio likes westerns.
it's true. He does.
But it could be something like that. Like Buffy, I think has gotten enough that, and actually, I think they're kicking around relaunching
yeah,
a
they
TV show.
There's been many a conversation about that.
Like a soft reboot kind of thing.
The X-Men animated series, late 90s. 97, as a matter of fact. Okay, so, boy.
Honestly, I wasn't sure how to do Home Improvement, so I thought we were going to go to Family Matters. But your pitch of John Cena as Tim Taylor is phenomenal. The problem is then what's it about?
Well, modernizing it. Okay, fine. I'll pitch you a Home Improvement movie starring John Cena. He's a.
Can I be Al?
You're Al Borland. Yeah. I don't think so, Jim.
Oh,
come on, high five. Come on, that was good.
That was really good. But
good.
To go with what you said, I have to be disappointed because you're not going to let me.
Either. Tim Taylor is the host of a YouTube Home Improvement series, or like a streaming like a YouTube TikTok. He is providing this content.
I do want to see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
I would think he had a TV show. The TV show is failing, and he is trying to transition
to
new media.
Okay, to new media. Okay, maybe. My suggestion was going to be that he starts, because he keeps failing and hurting himself on these streams.
Okay.
That he starts gaining notoriety. He is actually a competent mechanic, carpenter, like home improvement guy. He has Al keeping him in check. He starts gaining notoriety because of his fails. His viewership goes up, and now an actual network wants to bring him onto like the Home and Garden TV.
You want to Wayne's World him?
Yes, that's precisely the point of reference. There would be cable access, local cable access, public access. Success make you a national, international, or Netflix type show, and then it's. Then we go Mighty Ducks 2, where it all goes to his head, and he becomes Captain Blood, and everyone hates him, and he's like, you know what? I was better off just in my hometown with my family.
I still would argue the going the other way, where it's a TV show that's failing, and he finds new life in social media.
Yeah.
Because it then matches kind of the rest of the you can make it match the rest of sort of the concept of the show, which is this manly man's tool man. At home, he tries to be the man of the house, but of course, all these things the kids run rampant. The wife is really wears the pants of the family. He has to constantly seek advice from the neighbor, and it would sort of the arc could dovetail into that, where the dad's like, I'm on TV, and the kids are like, no one watches that, Dad.
Yeah, what's TV?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think one of the things to maintain from the show to reflect into a film would be Tim Taylor was locally famous. Home Improvement as like Tool Time wasn't this big nationally televised series. He was locally famous.
Oh. Okay.
Bimford Tools presents Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Okay. I guess now that you mentioned that makes sense. I always imagined him like a Bob Vila type,
Yeah.
but Bob Vila actually was a special guest
And his enemy,
on
his nemesis.
Yeah, on his Tool Time
national show. But the idea that there might be some commentary towards the death of television into new media,
and that's what I would like.
Yeah. In the reality of the show,
Mm-hmm.
If his home improvement show, Tool Time,
Mm-hmm.
is reaching the end of its tenure, like this is our last season, it begins with him with the show ending, and now what does a guy who used to be locally famous?
Sure.
Well, maybe no. Let's say he had a nationally broadcast show, but now it's canceled and over with, and now that was it. He's not someone that they wanted to be a sportscaster, announcer, like Ted Lasso style. Like, he's not being recruited by other networks. His show came and went. It's over with now. All the people who watched it are old people anyway. And anyone getting advice on how to improve their home is getting it from the internet, not some stupid TV show. And then that's when he's like, well, then I'll go to the internet.
Yeah. And it also lines up with the entire notion of the entire title, Home Improvement. He's trying to improve upon this old house. That's Bob Vila's show.
That's right. Yeah. So then so the show ends and he deals with the aftermath of still thinking he's a big deal, but he's not even getting the free meals at the local restaurants anymore.
So that's the first act.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So then he is going around the house bothering his wife, and she's like, "You need to find something to do with your retirement, Tim. I'm too young to retire. I'm still virile."
Yeah.
And then the call to action, or the herald, cross the threshold.
He's at home. He's finding little things because he has had a job for however many years.
Mm-hmm.
He's finding things around the house to repair,
Mm-hmm.
And so he starts doing that, which also annoys his wife and stuff because not that she liked it broken, but because she had wanted him to fix it for years,
Mm-hmm.
but now he's overproducing the entire thing,
like Tim did on the show all the time.
Yeah. I don't ever remember him doing that around the house.
Yeah, like he tried to
but
more power.
Yeah,
to
I
the
guess
dishwasher, and
That's
it's
right.
blowing dishes out the
You
back
are
wall.
absolutely right. I guess I didn't watch that show enough. But like he sees his kids on social media. He's like, "What is that?"
No.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do that." And so he starts trying to produce his TV show on his own at home.
Right, but it's not. He sees his kids on the internet doing that, and then decides he is in the background of one of their Twitch streams, and the comment section is blowing up about, like, "What's your dad doing back there?
Oh.
Dad,
Get out of here!
Dad, get out of here! No, bring your dad back!" And they just keep seeing him in the background, and then that's at least somewhat of a like. What do you mean my clip went online? Well, someone recorded my Twitch stream and posted you falling off the ladder. It's got like 1 million views. $1 million? No, you don't.
No.
You don't get paid for views.
No, it's not even a cent per view.
Oh wait, but people saw me.
Okay. Well, because where I was going to go is he's trying to make, and maybe that's what leads into it.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to make a legit home improvement social media channel.
I still think he should do that. But
And like it goes wrong, like his lives keep going wrong, and he falls over, and people are starting to watch him for the pratfalls, for the fails. Well, not pratfalls; those are on purpose. Yeah, for the fails.
This is what he's doing. Okay, yeah, yes, this is what's happening. Okay. That is exactly what's happening. He keeps filming himself doing everything with the fails in it because he, for whatever, gets the idea. I'm going to film a few episodes, and then I'll edit it together, and then I'll release the episodes. Maybe even his son even suggests that. What's Randy, Brad,
Andy, and
well, his son,
Dandy.
Yeah,
Andy, Randy, and Dandy.
No, he okay, I'll just film 10 episodes, and Mark or Randy or Brad is like, yeah, film a season, then edit it together, because that's how they used to do the Tool Time, right? It's like
Okay.
we'd film a few episodes, then edit them. The problem is when he runs the camera to film them, he goes live, and so then when he's
Okay,
like,
so he finishes them and he's like, okay, now I need to edit it. Why is there no footage?
yes,
Where's the footage?
yeah, exactly, and like maybe he's collecting it in his phone, like we're making him.
That's
a
what
little,
he thinks.
Yeah,
That's what he thinks he's
yeah.
doing.
But then he's like, all right, I filmed my 10 episodes. Where's the footage? Like, you didn't film it, Dad. You went live. So then people saw all my mistakes. Right?
Sure.
Like,
sure.
he would normally edit out all of his goofs or whatever.
Yeah. Sure. I think that's the better way. I still want to. What I was gonna pitch was he's making the show. He doesn't know how to edit, and he doesn't have an editor.
Right.
Right. So that, like, one of his kids even brings that up. He's like, that's fine. This is going to be true to life. Tool time. I'm gonna show him mistakes and all, because the people will learn even better that way. And so it pretty much starts as him just hitting record, stepping back, doing the stuff, doing the mess ups and stuff, throwing out a board, doing a new one,
putting a nail through his hand, bends down, bang.
Not at first.
Yeah.
Not at first. At first, it goes pretty well with a couple screw ups, no big deal, and he's actually happy with that. Even though it's screwed up, he's like, no, this is going to be great, because warts and all. That's what
Tool Time's all about.
That's what people out there are actually experiencing. So I'm going to show them how you actually fix those mistakes. But it very quickly, cartoonishly, like, no, we got. He's like, I don't know how to edit it. Just put it up as is, and like that's what kind of
just put
blows
it up.
up.
Okay, yeah.
Was the initial thought, but he would know how to make a TV show. That's pretty good too.
How does he rope Al back into it? Maybe he just goes, like, this show's not the same without you. Goes and actually asks him to come back.
So with my route, rather than the recording 10 episodes,
right?
After the first couple, because he keeps messing up, he begs Al to come help him with his little TikTok show,
his little home improvement projects.
Yeah. And Al's like, fine. I honestly, I don't have anything else either.
But Al was very good in investments, so he's living very comfortably in his retirement.
Sure.
How does your house look like this? Oh, I did all this. I did. Oh, all right.
Really? On the salary I gave you? I mean, it is a home improvement show.
Charlie Day.
Oh, sure.
Charlie Day.
There you go.
Charlie Day's Al Borland.
Yeah.
I don't think so, Tim.
Oh, him and John Cena. That's kind of a really fun matchup.
So he gets Al back. He's like, I need your help.
Yeah.
No, wait. Maybe it's not that. Maybe he's like, he has, okay, my big project. This is the big one.
Well, he has a couple, and because he's filming it all just in the one take, and there's too many mess ups, and the people in the comments keep making fun of him. He doesn't like that.
Yeah.
He wants to have a real home improvement show to show that, like, he's really doing it. So he begs Al to come back just for one. Just help me with this one. I need to rebuild the shed. Please just help me build the shed. And he comes and he does it, and it's Al comes off great, and Tim comes off like even more of a cartoon. As he, like, falls through the roof they built and stuff, like Al's like, that doesn't have any beams in it.
Load bearing.
It's
not load bearing.
Literally just shingles holding up shingles, and he's like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
See, it's sturdy. Yeah. And
I don't think so, Tim.
And that goes, it explodes.
Yeah.
That goes super viral. What do you think of that?
Yes, I think that's all great. Okay. Now, as far as a 90-minute, 100-minute comedy is concerned, we now need to create an antagonist. Him getting fired and having to figure himself out, as funny as it is, but eventually we need to reach. There needs to be a threat, or needs to be an obstacle in this. It could be let's see some ideas here. Maybe he calls his streaming thing Tool Time, and the network is like, we own Tool Time. You have to call it something else, which eventually he could call Home Improvement as like the answer to that. But we need some sort of, like in the first Wayne's World, it is. Go ahead.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
In the first Wayne's World, it's another company.
Right.
I kind of don't want to have like like an external antagonist like that. I feel like the arc of this is Tim is a man lost. He's the world, right. His world has moved on without him, and he's trying to catch up. And the more he tries to do that, the more he tries to grab a hold of it and hold on, the more it wrestles itself away, the less he can hold on.
Yeah.
And that's right. It's why he has to keep going to his neighbor. Wilson. He has to keep going to Wilson because because he's home all the time. He feels estranged from his wife, from his kid. His kids are growing up. They are grown up. When did they learn all the lessons? They learned them from the internet, Dad, while you were off on your TV show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, right. Because then it's him versus himself. Yeah. He's the antagonist to his own world.
Yeah. Sure. And so then through trying to make a show again, I think we need to come up with some examples, but basically he kind of finds a way to reconnect to these things in a new way that isn't forcing it to be like it was.
Right. Yeah, and having individual goal, like individually winning back his three sons, more or less proving, not that his wife is going to be a nag or against him, but just proving his worth to himself as much as the people important in his life.
Yeah.
So that the success is not a new network show. It is not defeating the enemy. Yeah, it's
there can be a false antagonist in that there is someone Tim compares himself to. Sure. Why can't I be that guy? Why does that guy who is not as good as me keep succeeding?
Yes, I kind of have an idea who we might be able to do.
And ultimately, it's about Tim letting go of that comparison.
Yeah. How about here's the character he's going up against is another buffoonish, pratfalling, accident-prone home repair person who's basically like the famous person on streaming or on the social, like TikTok or whatnot, that is known for like falling down and screwing up. It's Johnny Knoxville. Johnny Knoxville is like another home improvement loser who's made his bread and butter failing, and it's all contrived. Like he creates, like, you know what I'm saying, like he is someone who, like, I'm gonna climb this ladder. Oh no, I fell off, and he fakes his his mistakes and his goofs. That's his what he does online is fake and contrive accidents. I don't know if I love this. I'm just throwing it out there as it's
not hooking me, and I don't want to just say nah, just because.
Right.
My initial idea did you watch Vice Principals?
Yeah. Danny McBride and Charlie Day, right?
No. That was Danny McBride and
Walter Goggins.
Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins, yeah.
However, Danny McBride's character's ex-wife, her new husband, or maybe they're just boy. Her new significant other is played by Shai Wiggum, and he is the nicest guy. And Danny McBride hates him so much, and he hates him because this guy basically took his life. Is basically with his wife and raising his kid.
Yeah,
and that's how he sees it. But Shai Wiggum, he just loves him. He's like, yeah, hey man, good seeing you. Want a beer? Hey, how's it going? Goes to all the same games. Like, get out of here. Oh, okay, I get it. I actually feel like that's almost it's a flip of a trope that I've seen in a number of shows over the last decade or so at this point. So maybe that's old. I don't think it's been done so much that wouldn't be fun. I'm imagining a character. It can be that Johnny Knoxville character, completely unaware of Tim entirely. Like that. It's not about I'm gonna beat you. You'll never beat me.
Right.
It's I'm gonna beat you. I'm like, who
Who
are you? I'm just living my life, guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you are my nemesis.
Well, okay.
And it ultimately it always comes back to Tim. Tim is truly competing with himself.
Mm-hmm.
He need that's the plot. That's the story.
That's the obstacle that he's trying to overcome. It's man versus himself.
And my thought for ultimately at the end, my hesitation for his nemesis being what he's going into
Mm-hmm.
is at the end he fully embraces that. Yeah, I'm the guy who falls through. I'm the guy who measures once, cuts twice.
Glue my head to a table.
Yeah,
That's me.
I'm that guy. And like he ends up going to like essentially VidCon, and he ends up going to these conventions and becoming a part of this larger social media community.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That was my thought of where that would go.
Yeah.
And if he has somebody who's already in that space doing his thing,
Mm-hmm.
that might. My initial thought is that undermines his growth into acceptance of this new life.
Yeah, I agree. Here's an alternative pitch for another character. I love the idea of someone who does not have any animosity towards him at
Mm-hmm.
all. Tim getting his show canceled or whatnot, or if they're like, if first it's like,
Actually, I think as far as animosity goes, I think if anyone has animosity, the TV show did a good job of never truly going there. But if Al is the one
Al
with
was always the
animosity,
one with
so even through that, Tim ultimately wins him over too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Tim, you are the biggest nincompoop I know, and
my best friend.
And my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the idea of another character who has no animosity towards him whatsoever is perhaps whoever took his time slot, who's like oh, I hate you took my time slot. Like,
sure.
Hey Tim, oh my gosh, you look great. Have you been working out? The retirement suits you. Don't talk to me like that. I hate you. Oh, how's your ratings? Pretty good actually. Yeah, we had honestly like carried over a lot of your old viewership. Like I have new viewers. I don't need you. They're younger and cooler.
Like me.
That's really cool. That's really great. What's your channel? I'll follow.
I don't need your follow.
No, here, what's your hashtag? I'm gonna just
my hash what?
Oh, that's here. Just like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
The idea of Wilson giving him I think that's it. It doesn't need to be this epic quest. Keeping it small and letting him. Yeah, there's probably even just what we pitched here, the bones of a really good family film.
Mm-hmm.
People would probably be annoyed by it because what the hell are we doing? But there are films of this ilk that know not to reach further than their grasp, to be like, no, this is just it. We're staying true to the sweetness of, Miller and Lord would be the kind of people who could pull off this because they like pulled off 21 Jump Street.
But they would somehow match this with like some sort of like intergalactic plot, like, but it would still feel small and homey.
Yeah. And we don't want an intergalactic.
I want to be those guys.
Yeah. And then in the end, he just continues his series with Al and doesn't even bother. Yeah. He doesn't want to go back to network.
No.
I like the notion of
like we could even have a schmaltzy scene where someone comes up and says, "Hey Tim, we're
Netflix
looking. We got a
you.
new time slot kind of thing." Yeah.
We could put you on a streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that. I got everything I need right here.
Well, if anything, I feel like someone coming up with a streaming deal would be like, okay, maybe we'll talk about that, because it would be for the new thing he's doing.
Right.
Whereas the old network comes back. And
maybe
like, no.
Maybe that's it. Of like he turns it down, like being all humble, and then he feels good about it. And he like goes and tells Jill, and she's like, "Are you out of your mind? You call him back right now. I cannot have you sitting around this house all the time." But what about my show? Go do your show for Netflix. Jesus Christ. Okay. And then hard cut to the credits.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And
then the credits have a whole bunch of
clips from the show.
Yeah.
You know what time it is? It's Tool
time.
Yeah. Well, choosing Home Improvement, I know you like pointed at TGIF, but like I know we just.
I thought Home Improvement was going to be like, I don't know how to do a movie. Let's go to TGIF because I feel like we haven't even taken a break yet, have we?
No, we're fine.
So we're gonna end up pitching another at this point.
Mm-hmm.
My thought, the reason I had initially thought Family Matters, I didn't have a plot, but I was like, there's a bit more there just because of Urkel.
Yeah. Oh my God. Now, like, how outlandish are we talking here? Steve Urkel made Buddy Loves Doc.
We can discuss that. It could
Nutty
go all the way to The Pest or the not the Jerk. What was the Martin Short one?
Where he's the Clifford. No. Clifford?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Where he's the little kid.
Why can't you just be a normal little boy?
Like Steve Urkel made a robot version of himself.
Yeah.
Like this show.
That's why I was thinking it could go anywhere from just a nice family
matters
sitcom kind of thing, all the way to something outlandish and crazy.
Yeah. Family Matters was an original TGIF.
Yes.
Perfect Strangers was just their prime time.
It was before TGIF existed.
Right. Yeah. And then wait. Hold on a second.
I thought TGIF was all family shows.
It was Full House. Family Matters was second.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect Strangers was third, which got carried over.
Okay, I believe you. I did not remember Perfect Strangers being a TGIF show. I know Step by Step was one.
The Step by Step replaced Perfect Strangers at some point, but it became one of the TGIF shows for sure. But the fourth one was not going places. That was the second one. The first one was a spinoff of Growing Pains called Just the 10 of Us, which was about Coach Lubbock. This is off the top of the dome here, folks.
Wow.
Coach Lubbock had eight daughters, and they lived in a house, and it was just the 10 of them, and it was a big family, and he was a basketball coach for a high school or college. I don't remember that much.
I do not remember that one at all.
Oh my God!
That just reminds me of Seventh Heaven and Sergeant Dad.
The Major Dad.
Major Dad. Thank you. Wrong rank. I apologize.
Yeah, I just remembered the theme song to Just the 10 of Us. Doing it the best I can. And then
that was Growing Pains.
No. Growing Pains is doo doo ba ba dow.
No, that's
whatever happened to predictability. The milkman, the paperboy, even
that's not
TV.
Growing Pains.
Yeah. No, Growing Pains. I'm sorry. That was Full House. I apologize. I'm very excited right now.
You are very excited.
Growing Pains. Can I remember it without looking it up?
It was the one
doing it the best I can.
Yeah, because Alan Thicke sang that. He wrote and sang that.
Oh God, I want to remember it without looking it up, but that's not the Growing Pains theme. Why do I remember? I filed away every theme song in my head. Growing Pains theme song. Here we go. If we get
to the internet.
You know what? I'm not even going to look up the song. I'm going to look up the lyrics, and that will remind me what the tune is. As long as we got each other.
Oh, there you go.
Do, we got each other. We're sitting right in our hand. And yes, Alan Thicke sang that. Oh my God. Is anyone entertained right now?
Everyone is entertained constantly.
Family Matters. Okay. Family Matters is some sort of cinematic thing. I'm going to go, okay, with Home Improvement, I think the key to making that work is John Cena's awesome and could totally do all that physical comedy and the sweetness of what that can be. Mm-hmm. I think you maintain the heart and a lesson learned. You don't take it to an intergalactic kegger.
Yeah.
Like it maintains. I think with Full House, because of how insane that show got with Steve Urkel.
Family Matters.
Family Matters. What did I say?
Full House.
Family Matters got so crazy with robots and alternate identities and like super science.
Yep.
I say we lean into that. This is a Lord and Miller movie.
Okay.
This is an Akiva Schaffer directed insane movie.
Okay.
That it seemingly can start with, like, this would be my pitch. This is my pitch. It's not going to be. It is.
Okay.
This is my pitch.
We're skipping right past the first paragraph of what this paper is going to be about.
Going right to it. We don't need a goddamn opening statement, which is what this is. And I am deleting it right now. Carl Winslow is a sergeant for the Chicago Police Force and lives a very normal existence. And Steve Urkel moves in next door, and just things start going so insane. And Carl's the only one acknowledging the insanity of it.
You're gonna what about Bob him?
Yeah. And everyone else is just so accepting. It's Carl is like like, and Laura.
Yeah.
Laura is like, I don't like Steve Urkel. And Carl's like, right, because of the robot, right? And Laura's like,
No, it's because he's a nerd.
Yeah, because he's a nerd and he annoys me. Right, but what about the serum that makes him cool? Isn't that crazy? Dad, I don't like how much he flirts with me. And the whole cheese thing, it really bothers me. Right, but what about the time machine? Like just drives him crazy. And I'm really speed pitching this right now.
Yeah, well, especially because I thought this was going to be the whole second half of our show and not the prelude to the intermission.
Well, so yeah, Steve moves in and drives Carl, like, things get, like, escalatingly weird. Like, it goes from, like, Twin Peaks odd to literally, like, a spaceship in the backyard. And Carl's, like, the only one. Like, why am I I feel like a crazy person.
He's taking crazy pills.
Yeah, and everyone else sort of just brushes it off. And it reaches a point where Steve needs Carl's help to save the world. They're like a worldwide threat, courtesy of Steve Urkel's super science.
So you want a Rick and Morty Family Matters?
Yes, and which is great.
Turning Urkel into Rick,
yeah,
and Carl Winslow into Morty.
Yeah. That's exactly what I want to do. And which is great because Principal Vel Johnson is the principal in Rick and Morty. Yeah, full Rick and Morty. Like, I want, and even I'll even go so far as, did I do that? Like, Steve is a super villain. Like, he ultimately is the bad guy here, and Carl is the hero cop that will save the day. Like, first he convinces Carl to help him. Carl, you gotta help me. And then Carl is roped into this insanity.
Oh, okay, right. So the first half, and because Urkel makes excellent points. He's like, look at this the weird. I don't know if we want to do the Council of Urkels, but I'll just use it as the example. Look at this big terrible organization. You need to help me stop them. And he's like, oh, fine, Steve, and then you never come over to my house again.
Yeah.
Whatever, Carl, best friend, best pal of mine.
Oh, Carl, I love you.
And then they do that. And then Steve is like, great, we have control, Carl. I have all the control right here. I have it. We can go home and I will date your daughter. And don't worry, because I will control everything. And Carl's like,
what?
No, that's not what we agreed to.
Yeah.
And like, no, but it is Carl. And like he even have him point at like several points throughout where it's like he was being very forward with his plan this whole time, but it was just couched in such a way.
Oh, it's like in Community when Matt Walsh played the groundskeeper for the trampoline, and then he turns out to be like super racist, and he's like, and then they flash back to all the times he was overtly and they just ignored it. Kind of like that.
Kind of, yeah.
Steve just
except
says,
not racist, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Did I do that?
And then Carl and Steve have to like sci-fi fight each other in the end.
Here's my only problem.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a way to plug it in there. Is I want the solution, or the thing that saves it ultimately to be family.
Oh yeah.
Because.
Family matters.
But no, like partially for the saccharine sweet awe, but also I like when titles
pay off.
Do that.
Okay, so let's back up. Steve Urkel moves in next door. In the original episode that Steve Urkel was in, he was just an offhand character. Like, he was just a remarked upon character, where Carl had ruined something for Laura, where she didn't have a date. He had like somehow ruined her homecoming date or something, and he went to the kid next door and said, "Oh, I got this Steve kid to come take you." And she's like, "Steve Urkel? The kid eats mice. He's a super geek. He's a nerd. He eats mice, Dad." And then this dork in suspenders and glasses shows up, and Carl's like, "Oh no, he's a good kid. He's a good kid." And Steve's like,
"Got any cheese?"
Because he eats mice. And he was a one-off character that then they brought back, and then they brought back, and then made a main character, and then he was the star of the show.
Yeah.
So having this start with status quo, Carl Winslow is like Murtaugh, right? He's got a family life.
Is there a plot that we could insert that gets just sidelined, T-boned and sidelined by Urkel showing up?
Oh, like the movie promises to be
like
one
it was
thing.
going to be one thing, and then Urkel hits
Just
it.
shows up, and it's not that movie at all anymore.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. That Carl's investigating some drug bust gang thing. He's like, "This will make me lieutenant. I'm ready for this." Oh, I messed up Laura's date. A new kid moved in next door. Could you come talk?
I have a late. I have to work a double. I don't do cops work doubles. I know they work late, but it's
double the shift.
I'll just patch this really quick with the neighbor kid.
Yeah, and then it begins to unravel.
Yeah.
To the point where
I think it'd be fun if some of the really early unraveling is after that kind of goes wrong. Carl goes to have a heart-to-heart with Steve to break it to him that Laura doesn't like him. Like whatever you did on that date, it was very wrong, and I'm sorry there won't be a second.
Right.
And it goes just wrong enough that he's like, let me speak to your parents.
Yeah.
And
Steve
has like an excuse or something, but he doesn't have any parents.
This kid's a fugitive.
And it becomes a movie version of, there's a song by Tom Waits called "What's He Building in There," and that's that I want.
What's he's building?
It's not really a musical like a musical song that it could like be in the movie, but
it's in the trailer.
Oh, there you go.
That's the trailer song.
Building in there.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. The unraveling, so that it builds and builds and builds to, like, you could sell this movie, like the marketing of this movie could be this modern reimagining of Family Matters. Ha ha ha, isn't this funny? Give it that 21 Jump Street kind of look to it. Hint at the robot Steve Urkel in the trailer, and hint at some of like the goofier stuff from the show. But when you actually go to see the movie, when it escalates to the point where the world is at risk and like Steve is like a super villain, like done correctly, the joy of something like that. Most recently, Looney Tunes, the day the Earth blew up.
Yeah, there you go.
Escalated to a point where I don't think the trailers showed just how good this movie is and where it went. It's that level of thing of like, sorry, I need to say this out. That's a movie that didn't need to be that good, and it was. Remember we were talking just a couple days ago about movies that are better than they deserve to be, or had any right
movies
to.
that punch above their weight.
And Looney Tunes, The Day the Earth Blew Up, is one of those where it's like, wow, movie, you didn't have to do it this well. So anyway,
we still would have liked it.
Watching a Family Matters movie that escalates to the point of like, they're going here? What? And then there's a freaking Star Wars battle sequence to end this. I don't know what it, but like. Robot Carl like in a freaking like mech suit and versus Steve, and then Steve is destroyed or defeated or reverted back to brainless little nerd, and then the denouement moment is Carl busting that drug ring that he initially was going to do anyway.
Okay, sure.
Bringing it all the way back to but to your point of like the family needs to matter. Oh man. This might be too meta, but I'd love Judy to be like hugely important to the final finale of this.
So I don't remember the show well enough. Was Judy there to begin with?
She was.
Okay.
And then eventually she just disappeared.
Okay, I was thinking it was the reverse.
No, Judy was one of the. It was so. Oh boy.
So actually, that plays really easily into what I was gonna suggest is through this whole thing, through Urkel insisting it has this is for the best. He changes the entire family. He changes the entire neighborhood, the entire town.
He's literally changing reality. Judy is like blinked out of existence.
Yes.
Oh yes. Oh man. Yeah. Because
and every step of the way, he's framing it in such a way that Carl may not be the one who does it, but he makes it sound and feel like Carl gave permission to do it.
Yeah. Like some sort of exasperated comments, like Carl, you asked for this.
Yeah,
because so Carl, Harriet was his wife.
Eddie
was the older son. Laura was the middle. Judy was the youngest.
And then his mother-in-law.
No.
Didn't she live with
it
him?
was his mother.
Oh, Estelle. That was his mother.
Estelle was his mother.
Oh.
And then there was the little Richie was the nephew, because Harriet's sister lived
he
with
was
them.
he was the attic kid.
No, he was there from the beginning.
He was also there.
Yeah,
from the
he was
beginning.
also there from the
Okay.
beginning. I can't remember what Aunt Rachel. Aunt Rachel was the aunt
okay.
who lived with them, and then Steve Urkel was eventually added. So it was like Waldo Faldo was like Eddie's friend who was added to the show. He was eventually a main character too, and then
That's because, as we all know, family matters, and by family we mean all the people you
All the
add
friends.
along the way.
hey, you know what?
The main family, unimportant.
After
Only the
not-
people who visit.
After 9 episodes and 200, after 9 seasons and 215 episodes, you got to make some changes, right? But at some point, Judy disappeared. So working that into the plot that Steve is literally rewriting reality so
Mhm.
that Judy vanishes is awesome. I love that. Like that's the threat he poses on reality.
Sure.
Wow.
He can say it several times throughout, but I think when Carl manages to save everything and everything goes back, he gets Steve to put everything back to the way it was.
Mhm.
Steve doesn't even remember this, and Carl's like says something and never all this you're never going to do it, or like he explains everything
Yeah.
you just did,
You can undo it.
and Steve
you'll
goes, "Did I do
do
that?"
that.
Or something dumb like that.
Something dumb like that. Oh my God. Yeah. A Family Matters movie. I'm in, man. I am in.
Weirdly, I still feel like that one's not as fleshed out
No,
as
I
Home
mean,
Improvement,
because it's so.
but that's definitely a pitch. That's a pitch and a half there.
I think it's a full pitch. Well, let's take a break here.
Yeah, it's a pitch and a half.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
more than a pitch.
No, the
One
Home
point.
Improvement was the pitch.
Yeah.
You're saying the half pitch was Family Matters?
No, I'm saying Home Improvement's a full.
That's
That's
a
more
full
than a
pitch,
pitch.
yeah.
That's fully fleshed out.
Yeah.
We did the
So we've done
work.
So we've done 2.5 pitches?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I'm saying Family Matters was a pitch and then another half a pitch on there. It's not a full thing. This is garbage content right
We are
now.
writers, not mathematicians. All right. Okay, we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to come back with some more sitcom movie. I don't know what to call this. We'll figure that out. We'll be right back after these messages from 6.5 Media. Okay, so here we are. So Home Improvement and Family Matters, right? Now, I know initially said TGIF, and maybe that's what we call this episode is just TGIF, and then people
Sure,
can be like,
maybe.
Home Improvement wasn't a TGIF
Yeah.
show. But I'm thinking of other sitcoms of that era that, well, let's see. Boy Meets World had a spin-off series, a new series called Girl Meets World, right? Roseanne had a sequel series. Full House had Fuller House. Family Matters
That
hasn't had
70s show.
yeah, that became the
That 90s show.
right? What is another, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch became The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
I don't know if I have a movie for it, but Friends.
You don't know if you have a movie concept for Friends.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to do Friends. Like we're mining nostalgia here, and Friends comes with a. It's almost like that's like the biggest, like that's one of the bigger asks of like come up with a Friends movie, recast it, and all that. And I was like, then we got to also do Living Single and then rip that off. And Wonder Years had a reboot recently, or they're doing it from
Yeah.
the I believe the Black perspective, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. That was another one.
It was.
What about Step by Step? Because Step by Step was just Brady Bunch. It was,
Yeah.
It was the 90s reimagining of Brady Bunch.
I wouldn't know what to.
To do with
What to do there.
Yeah.
I think we hit the ones that I felt were most fertile.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of more of that era. The Drew Carey show.
Oh, sure.
where Frasier has recently had a revival.
Mm-hmm.
Will and Grace has ever had a revival. Two Girls, a Guy, in a Pizza Place.
I know you're very much playing the and are going to have a better memory for the sitcoms. Melrose Place. I don't think that got a reboot.
No,
No, it did. I think it did, but it did not go well. It did not last long.
Well, okay, but I'm just thinking ABC. Those are all ABC shows
Mm-hmm.
off the top of. Let's see. So if we move to like NBC, so you're not wrong. Like Friends, Seinfeld, Frasier, ER. Like we're talking must see TV era.
Mm-hmm.
Third Rock from the Sun.
Mm-hmm.
Was Fresh Prince NBC or
Yes.
CBS?
I thought that was
It was
NBC.
NBC. I think so. I can picture the peacock in the corner. Um, News Radio. Could News Radio?
Did Scrubs last too long into the modern era to do a nostalgia bait movie of it?
Well, boy, see, I actually give me a chance to talk about Scrubs for a second here, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. I often cite it as my Desert Island show. The ninth and last season of Scrubs happened too soon because they immediately did it, and it was a new series. And if it had been separated by even 5 years, that show would have lasted more than a season. It lasted half a season because people were mad because it literally opens with blowing up the old hospital. They had a few people who were willing to do the first half, like Zach Braff,
to do a transition.
to like hand it off and the finale of what I consider the true finale of Scrubs is one of the all-time greatest finales. Talk about tugging at the heartstrings. To follow that up with such like a slap to the face series immediately after, understandably people were like, "Bah!" But I think that final season in a vacuum is good, and if it had been separated by some time, people would have been on board for it.
Okay.
And I don't know. That doesn't necessarily say like how do you do Scrubs the movie. I think if you Scrubs the movies would be so much as like, oh no, they did a Hawaiian wedding in the show with the janitor. Yeah, I don't see any thing to do with Scrubs.
I think Futurama, same thing. Futurama's from that period, but it lasted long enough, had enough ups, and a couple of them were movies that were then just chopped into episodes.
That's
anyway.
Right. Yeah. To your point, though, Scrubs was 2001 to 2010. So yeah, it's out of the 90s.
Yeah.
If the
I did say early 2000s I think would still count.
okay, I see. All right. I was going the other direction because you said I think your demand was 25 to 30 years.
It was, which normally 95 to 2000 was kind of the era I was thinking. But I'd go as early as as 1990, or possibly as late as 2005.
Would you go further back to like the 80s?
I think it depends on what it is.
Because, like, for example, Family Ties. Now we're in like 80s television. I wasn't consuming like I did 90s television, but I'm at least aware of Family Ties being this liberal husband and wife who have a freaking Ben Shapiro as their son.
Yeah. I see how that could have modern sensibilities.
Yeah.
I actually feel like a lot of the 80s stuff, I love it, but I feel like it's outside of the mood and feel I was going for. Right? Because Knight Rider is a thing of the 80s, and that could make a really cool movie.
Yeah.
But that is not what I'm aiming at.
For. Yeah. Because even another show from late 80s into the 90s to the 2000s was Saved by the Bell, which lasted.
That was another one I was gonna bring up.
Which had a revival recently.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Ah.
The amazing thing about Saved by the Bell is that original cast was 4 seasons and is the definitive cast. The Saved by the Bell, the new class, was 8 seasons on its own and 200 plus more episodes than that original run. Because NBC knew what they had and they just keep going. They just kept going. But the thing to do with, you know what? Let's talk about Saved by the Bell.
Okay, here we go.
The thing to do with Saved by the Bell is acknowledge that Zach Morris is a psychopath, a sociopath, right?
No, maybe, because I think that's sort of the fun contemporary looking
Zach
back
Morris
critique
is
on it. Yeah, it's that.
Please look that up if you guys aren't aware of Zach Morris's Trash. It's a very fun YouTube series.
And the nostalgia bait movie revival that I asked for kind of did that. They did it lovingly, right, with Brady Bunch and 21 Jump Street and
Beverly Hillbillies.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
But they did point at them. So were we to do a Saved by the Bell, somewhere in there should be an acknowledgement of it. If anything, that would be the arc. Is it's established that Zach Morris is trash, and Zach Morris becomes aware of this and doesn't want to be trash. So now he has to fix it.
Fix it. How many times can you time out?
It's funny because as you were saying it, I'm like, what would I do given carte blanche with the concept of Saved by the Bell? Just a totally alternate universe version where he freezes time. A character who is like Zach Morris freezes time and dies with time frozen.
Oh my god!
And now the fallout of that has to be dealt with. And then it's a matter of would it be more fun to have people slowly
Come
unfreezing and then dealing with this world that is frozen and they're trying to unfreeze it? Or is it like a certain size area?
It's like a
is
WandaVision
frozen?
scenario.
Yeah,
where
is it like that?
Yeah, there's a glow.
And so then the outside world is like, what happened to this town
Bayside.
frozen in time?
Bayside, frozen in time. One body found. Bottle Beast Bond Boy, dead.
That was sort of like just very quickly a kernel that popped into my head as we started down this Saved by the Bell path.
Well, you know what? I'm going to keep playing in this.
Okay.
I'm going to keep playing this arena. Zach Morris being able to freeze time and have everything go his way. Like in so much like the way the show did the timeouts, and he didn't do it all the time, but he did enough that it was a trope of the show. He would turn to the audience and be like, "Oh, look at this pickle that I'm in. I'm using the timeout not to speak to the audience, but to time to be able to freeze time so that everything goes his way. Like watch me hit 100 free throws in a row. Ooh,
Sure.
timeout, boom, time in, right? And that he's constantly just using the timeout to be perfect.
I think it'd be funny if just at some point, it would happen throughout the whole movie, and at one point they would eventually point to it, so then you could watch the rest and see every time there's a picture of Zach Morris, his hands are almost making the T every time.
So he could get the pose perfect.
But like it shows that in reality, like everyone sees this kid whose hands are just kind of always
near T.
Yeah, it's suggesting he's using it all the time.
That's what I'm suggesting.
Yeah.
That it would verge into intentionally so time loop type territory movies. So like your Happy Death Days, Groundhog Day scenario where just hold on with me here. He's been perfecting his reality by freezing time, and there's actually a DuckTales episode about this, but that's fine. And someone else can do it. Like maybe
Sure.
oh no,
Okay.
I got it. Oh, I got it.
Oh.
Tori shows up. Remember
Yes,
Tori?
I remember Tori.
Okay, and she was never susceptible to Zach's charms in the first place. In fact,
true.
she's one of the only characters in the history of that show in its 4 seasons to acknowledge what's the deal with this guy. So she shows up, he times out, and she sees it. Like she is unaffected by the timeout, right?
Okay.
Even going so far as like first like observing it and not doing it, and then calling him out on it, and then like she can do it. Like she starts
she
timing
figures out how to do it
and starts like destroying him. Yeah, Tori is the hero of the Saved by the Bell movie.
So unlike our Home Improvement or Family Matters, where we're like really trying to, even if it's very tongue in cheek, honor these shows.
Yeah.
This one is us. This is our Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey to Saved by the Bell.
Complete deconstruction.
Yes.
Yeah. Tori shows up in her motorcycle jacket, and she's like, he hits on her, and she's like, you? Yeah. And then slowly starts witnessing. Maybe she, I don't know. What do you think?
I want to go further.
Oh, yeah.
She, in the second act of her needing to find help or find advice and information, she finds the kids that were erased from...
Yes, from Good Morning Miss Bliss.
Yes.
The lost original series. Yeah.
Because Zach only kept the people who like would go along, that he liked, that
Dude,
went
I love
along.
it. Yeah,
that went along with it.
So,
But unlike the Twilight Zone kid, he couldn't just time out them out of existence.
yeah.
So he had to just set things up so that Miss Bliss
Yeah.
had to go somewhere else, and the other kids had to go somewhere else.
Mikey
and
and
he
Nikki.
liked Mikey. Oh, Mikey knew about the power, but he was like, Zach, you're messing things up. And he's like, I can't have this, Mikey.
Yeah.
And he got rid of him.
Yeah.
That's when he got AC Slater, because he looked enough like him.
Yeah.
But like a better, musclier version.
and Nikki was the proto Jesse. So Nikki's out of the equation too.
Mhm.
So Nikki, Mikey, and like Miss Bliss are the three like
Yeah.
living in the fringes. Like,
Yes.
do they only exist in the timeout?
No, they're in another town.
Okay.
Oh, actually, if they're just in the timeout,
They
that
exist. They are
could
trapped.
be amazing.
They are trapped in timeout.
Oh no.
He put them in timeout.
Oh.
Because Miss Bliss.
Oh no.
So Miss
Oh,
Bliss.
we could even go through the show and find out that that's how Zach actually solved a bunch of the problems. Is he put people in time, like the movie star that came along and then ghosted Kelly.
Yeah.
And she was crushed, and that's why she went back to Zach.
He
It's
put
because he put that dude
in timeout.
in time.
Like it's like the dude in the cage from Daredevil that
Yes.
Kingpin puts down there.
Yes.
Let me out! I'll never tell anyone, I promise. Because not only that, Good Morning Miss Bliss took place in Indiana.
Oh.
Saved by the Bell takes place in California.
Ah.
So like there's even like something that, like
Yeah.
like some sort of
maybe timeout is more powerful. Maybe he is the kid from Twilight Zone.
And so Tori like catches on. Maybe he puts her in timeout. Do you like the idea that it immediately doesn't work on her, or that like she?
Yeah, like because when he starts doing it, I also does it happen to the whole world, or does it just happen locally to Bayside?
I don't know. The show would suggest it's the whole world. The show doesn't give us the information,
No.
so we can decide. Does he just freeze?
Because the thing is, Tori could experience these frozen moments when she's not on screen.
Oh, like she's experienced it her whole life, and she came to town like Buffy the Vampire Slayer looking for a Hellmouth.
Well, she didn't necessarily come looking for it, but circumstances. Excuse me, burping. Circumstances have led her to this source. Right? Like it didn't matter how much the people in Stranger Things wanted to run away.
Mm-hmm.
They circumstances, purposeful or otherwise, kept leading them back here to finally deal with Vecna.
Hmm. Oh, I'm split on this because I like the notion that she
Spoiler for a couple
Stranger
of
Things.
Stranger Things.
Very light spoiler there.
Yeah.
I like the notion of Tori she just showed up in town because her family moved to Bayside,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the high school that's in her district, and then she just basically stumbles upon this reality bending sociopath.
Oh, I just realized it could be a dark parallel to Peter Pan.
Okay. Yeah. Like,
Tori is Wendy.
yeah.
Zach is Peter, and initially, rather than being upset that she is immune to his powers, he takes that as a good sign, like someone who can understand, someone who can be on these adventures with me.
Mm-hmm.
But then, no, like just because she has this in common with you, also, and just because you still have control, like that'd be the thing. As she starts learning how to resist it,
Mm-hmm.
he would not be happy with that.
No.
And as she exerts more and more agency, he would be less and less cool.
I think I'm going
with this
to leave you
Yeah.
in timeout. No! And then the world goes blank,
Mhm.
and she's alone in the timeout reality, and stuck there. That's when she finds Mikey, Nikki, and Bliss.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't
Maybe
want to.
I feel for whatever reason I want that to be a quest. She needs to go find them.
Yeah, sure. Like something within and I don't want it to turn into the Upside Down. It literally just becomes this like stale reality.
Yeah.
There's a show from this era that was a kids show in the afternoon called Erie, Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
which is sort of like kids Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
The one episode I've seen that I have held forever is he's from Arizona. He wants to do daylight savings time, and they don't do daylight savings time in Erie, Indiana. Or I can't remember exactly, but he doesn't do it and then gets stuck an hour behind in an hour behind reality.
Uh-huh.
And so it's not like suddenly the Upside Down. It's just like an empty world.
Yeah.
So her getting blipped into timeout.
If anything, I feel like it should be a little different.
Yes.
Did you see Langoliers?
Yes.
It should be like
Yes.
that.
Absolutely.
Because when Zach times out, suddenly everyone blips in. They're all stopped like mannequins.
Mhm.
But when he times back in, everyone started. So maybe there's these blurs that go by Tori,
Yeah.
And that's people moving through time. That's reality continuing. Yeah. So all of these tangible things only pop in to the timeout existence when Zach actually pauses reality.
Okay, so now the lore of the show as it exists is it went from Indiana to California with no explanation. So we could honor that and figure out some way to get from Indiana to California, courtesy of Zach's abilities, or we just say Mikey, Nikki, and Bliss are in the California timeout.
I don't mind nodding to it. I think the first hints, the first things that Tori starts finding out to find out about any of this stuff is she talks to Screech and Lisa.
Lisa, yeah,
because both of them were there.
That's right.
And they have vague memories of Indiana, or bring up something like maybe Tori. I don't know how she would stumble upon this information, or how Screech and Lisa might accidentally
slip.
Yeah.
Now that begs the question: they don't know that their minds have been altered or that time has been altered, right? Screech,
Lisa doesn't know. What if Screech does? What if Screech is Zach's Renfield, right?
Totally, yes.
Like, and he's afraid, but he's also like, but I love Zach. Yeah.
He's totally aware of it, and that could be like a reveal, like when Tori's like unraveling things that Screech sort of like
Screech is his henchman.
Yeah.
Right, because Screech benefits greatly from kissing up to Zach.
Yeah, absolutely. He's my best friend.
I can build robots because of him.
Dancing robots.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, Slater's gonna kick Zach's ass when Tori can finally.
He's gonna try.
He's gonna try. You can try. I'm gonna kick your ass, Preppy.
Yeah.
Remember that's his.
Yeah.
He's like, you can try. Timeout. Slater getting humiliated. You think I willingly had this haircut? This all makes sense now. Oh my God.
The malt shop. I forgot about the malt shop.
Max.
Yeah.
With the magician.
Yep.
Max the magician.
Would it be worth turning him into like a
wizard,
amazing Zoltar character that gave Zach these powers?
Oh, because
no.
Therein lies the question. No, I'm hearing your no, and I'm agreeing with it. But do we want to explain what Zach is, and then therefore that's how that gives us information for the how we conclude the finale. If we can determine, is Zach an imp? Is he a demon? Is he Puck? Has he existed through all of time and space? Did he happen upon these powers? I'm asking you, but I'm asking aloud.
I like the parallel to Peter Pan, where we can come up with some stuff, but there is no he is this classification of creature.
Sure.
He is a being that can do these amazing things. This is what he has been witnessed to do, but no one really knows the extent of his ability.
How about
he basically fulfills his whims?
Yeah. How about he first did it in Indiana and got bored there, and then moved to California and started in a new city. So when he times out, it can be the whole world, but he chose to move to a new location because he got bored with Indiana.
Yeah, sure.
And then Nikki, Mikey, and Bliss have been trying to hunt him, find him in the timeout.
Maybe I feel I feel like those are characters that are just trying to survive because it's been years. It's been I guess not too many. It's been 6 years.
A few years. So Miss Bliss was 8th grade, and then 9th grade, and then Saved by the Bell is 10, 11, 12, and then they had one season at the beach.
Sure.
Because they realized how successful the show was.
But we can actually do a number of different things if Zach has the ability to manipulate time. More time could have passed.
Yeah. He could,
a bunch of we don't have to worry about ages for the most part, right? We could make Bliss, Mikey, and what's her name? Nikki much older. Because they're aging in the timeout.
They were frozen and left behind in 1987.
Yeah,
because that's when the show aired.
It could be something like that.
And the Saved by the Bell as it is now.
Well, because right. So if we're giving him this, not only can he manipulate time, he can manipulate space. If he basically made Indiana California, what was that school called? It wouldn't have been called Bayside.
Bayside High.
It was in Indiana. It was still
no.
Bayside.
In Miss Bliss's school. I don't know what it was. John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy Junior High in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thanks, Google. Nah, I'm not going to Google credit. Google sucks. I looked up Wikipedia.
All right, I don't have a fun thing there, but yeah, he turned it into Bayside. I'm still reveling in his powers.
No, please.
If they could have been left in '87, our show could be set in the '90s, or it might be alluded to that it is longer.
Yeah.
Right, or right, even if it's now. Wait, so you're telling me Zach and Screech and Lisa and all these people have been in high school since 1991? Yeah.
Yeah. He loves it here.
Yeah.
Well, who would answer? Yeah. That's Mikey. Like, yeah, he loves it. I'm a grizzled old man now.
Yeah,
well, he's
could
not
be.
old, he's like 30. But like, yeah. So Zach, if they're like, what is he? Who is he? We don't know. There's no way of knowing, but we know we need to destroy him.
Mm-hmm.
Wholesome home improvement pitch, followed by Rick and Morty Family Matters, followed by this amazing Twilight Zone Doctor Who Saved by the Bell. I am so happy right now. I love this show, Jim.
And it resolves with Tori defeating Zach.
Yeah.
By, you know what, Zach? I think it's time to put you in timeout.
Oh my God.
And that way he's defeated, but not in such a way that we can't easily have a sequel.
A new class, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes, there you go.
Long fuse on that one.
Yeah, that is a little longer. Mostly because I was going to try going for a because he was saved by the bell on.
Oh my God.
Oh, that ends up being how, maybe that's how Tori
realizes
something like that.
Like a ringing bell?
Like she hears a bell and it always catches her attention.
This is very Doctor Who-ish.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. Like whenever she comes out of it, that ringing in her ears.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe
I was going to say the ringing always lets her know when time is freezing.
Oh yeah, I'm saying that we're saying the same thing.
Sure.
That initially it's not like the very first time it happens she's unaffected by it, but she is just slightly aware of it.
Sure.
So like when Zach's about to do something like watch me sink this full court shot, and then the applause, people are freaking out, and Tori has almost like a moment of like, what was that ringing? Oh, he made it! Wow, good for Zach. Like just slowly that ringing bell is what's triggering her to realize something's off.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love this. Tori on her motorcycle, just coming in, not being fooled by Zach Morris, and he's a freaking.
And he thought he was luring just a new toy.
Yeah.
In.
Or that just a new toy showed up. Right.
Yeah.
Not that he drew her to him.
Maybe he might see reality as. His view of reality might tell him that, oh, clearly this is what I wanted.
Well, actually, you had said something. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I obviously drew here because I wanted. Well, that suggests, has this high school, we'd sort of alluded to this, has he been existing in this high school with these people constantly in a loop for as long as he wants because he's manipulated time and space? Or is this a pocket dimension that exists in our reality?
I kind
like a WandaVision dome, like we.
I like that more.
Okay.
It grounds it more in our world for like in the next town over from where you are, kind of thing.
So he keeps people
as opposed to, but I also like the allusion to Peter Pan.
No. Yes, you're right. The allusion to Peter Pan, it being a pocket reality. Zach Morris's trash points this out all the time. Zach has a girl that's in the episode that he does something to, and then like wins over in the end, and then the narration always says, and she was never seen again, most likely because she killed herself. So Tori
so there's more people caught in the timeout than...
Or he sucked them of their life force or
yeah.
whatever. But so Tori entering the equation is just another girl of the week for Zach. So yeah, him having done this in a loop for whoever knows how long. Go ahead.
We're making Tori the main character, a character who was in the show for like 2 episodes, 3,
like 6.
episodes? Oh, it was it. But either way, it would. What would be a good example?
10. She was in 10 episodes,
which is pretty good for a special guest star.
Well, okay, sorry. Don't lose your thought. We'll come back to me. You go. We'll come back to Tori in a second.
I'm just thinking about how like it would be like making
Gunther the main character of the Friends movie.
Yes, there you go. Yes, it would. Oh my God, that's exactly that. And now I don't know what we do, but now I want to approach it that way.
Okay, so Saved by the Bell had extended its original order. They filmed the finale, and then NBC wanted more episodes. They said, so fill it out. And so they ordered 10 more episodes. But Tiffany Amber Thiessen had already left to do Melrose Place, funny enough. And Jessie Brinkley had already gone off. She hadn't done Showgirls yet, but she was on her way. So those two were unavailable to film 10 more episodes.
Gotcha.
So they created the Tori character. They cast her. They cast Lark. What's her name? No, it's Joanna something.
Good job.
They cast her. Oh God. They cast her, and she did the 10 episodes, and then they aired the finale they had already filmed, which she is not in.
Okay.
So Tori existed for 10 episodes and then vanished without a trace. And the only reference to her after that, through the college years, through the new class, through the Hawaiian wedding, the only reference to her was in the most recent revival Saved by the Bell series, which has Jessie Brinkley and Mario Lopez. Someone else appeared on that. Someone says, "Oh, new kids come and go all the time. Remember Tori?" And that's it. That's the only offhanded reference to her. So anyway, having Tori be the main character tickles me to no end, because when she was in those 10 episodes, I was like, man, I like Tori. She's cool. She's got a leather jacket.
Yep.
She rides a motorcycle. Clearly, I
like high school kids do.
Like high school kids do. How do they defeat him though? I know you said they suggest that Zach goes to timeout, but like,
I mean, right? If we're going that big, and you had said in the beginning, Tori kind of masters this power herself. They have a time fight.
Yeah, hell yeah. It just keeps
I don't know what that consists
freezing and unfreezing.
Yeah, they keep blinking in and out.
They keep if it's going haywire, even so much so that it's jumping through time,
So, like you had mentioned, time loops. I don't. I guess if they can manipulate time and space, it would be possible to do that.
I'm not giving. I meant I was likening it to time loop energy in so much as Zach has perfected his life, because like a time loop movie where you can relive, he's just timing out so that he
can get it right,
or just so that he adjusts everything so it's right.
Yeah.
So not a time loop, but I like the idea that they time fight. It's like freeze, unfreeze, freeze. Like in that so much as like Slater's going to punch in this final confrontation, and every time it like unfreezes, the punch goes forward a little bit and freezes again, then the punch goes forward and freezes again, and then eventually at one point Zach does get hit by Slater.
I was going to say something different. I was going to say Slater actually dies, and the way he dies, like it could even be in that fight. He's like he's on Tori's side. He's like, "We're going to defeat you, you monster!" And he goes to punch, Zach. And there's a quick freeze moment, and suddenly Slater is fused with one of Screech's robots.
Whoa, shit!
And it falls over dead.
And then Tori beats Zach at his own psychotic game. Hell yeah. Saved by the Bell. Okay, we need one more. We have to do 4 to truly. I know, again, Saved by the Bell wasn't TGF, but to get there has to be one more we can do this with, right?
What else was there in the 90s?
I said boy.
I mean, there was the entire Disney Afternoon. I know some of those have been rebooted.
Oh, so like Rescue Rangers, Gummy Bears,
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck.
Which is weird because jumping to this, Saved by the Bell, coming down from this Saved by the Bells feels anticlimactic no matter what we do.
Well, we don't have to do a fourth one. We don't have to do a fourth one. We could.
Let's at least spitball some here.
I honestly thought Saved by the Bell was going to be an offhanded tangent, and then we jump
Sure.
into another one.
That's what I thought Home Improvement was going to be.
Okay, just trying to think of other classic '90s sitcoms. Let's see. I said Blossom. Remember Blossom? Whoa! Joey says whoa. King of Queens was '98.
I like him 6. I don't know if we're going to do it tonight or not. I'm just going to keep doing just like not quite right Blossom quotes.
Third Rock from the Sun. Aliens hiding on Earth disguised as humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
I referenced Living Single.
Would Third Rock from the Sun, would we try to do that original cast in some way? Or would we do kind of a soft sequel where a second wave is sent? Because I don't remember how the show ended. I don't remember if they were constantly sending reports back to their home planet.
To the
I
Great
assume
Big
they
Head,
were.
played by William Shatner.
Oh, there you go. So have they finally sent an invasion force?
Well, like they ended. They erase Jane Curtin's memory, so
Okay.
that she doesn't remember any of them, and then they returned. They left Earth.
Oh, they left?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
So then, yeah, John Lithgow and they left. Yeah, like
Oh.
they finished their mission and they returned to whatever planet.
I'm
they're
assuming, and their mission was to basically,
from. Study humans.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so now do they return to invade?
I don't know. They returning to invade after all their research. I don't know. I don't know if that's the.
Because aliens are always hostile.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
then I want to do Alf, right? Although that's a late
Oh,
80s
no,
show.
that's reminding me. There was a Coneheads movie.
That's
I forgot
right.
that there was
That's
a
right.
Coneheads movie.
We are from
And,
France.
The Jane was in that.
That's right.
She's the mother Conehead,
Uh,
the wife.
I
Conehead.
I had referenced Living Single before, and there's a wide belief.
Do you think that's how Third Rock was originally pitched? Was it was meant to be a Coneheads TV show?
Ooh, maybe.
Hmm.
That's an interesting
Anyway,
idea.
yeah.
Um,
Just tangential thought.
Yeah, I referenced Living Single, and you'd reference Friends, and it's widely believed by many that Friends was a whitewashed, rebranding of Living Single.
Okay.
They go, oh, look at all the similarities. It's the same show, but they whitewashed it. Now, I'm not going to say that's the case. I don't know how much that holds water because sitcoms are like super standard, especially in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were templates that you could fill out and perfected greatly by Mr. Chuck Lorre, who knows how to make a sitcom.
Right. How many honeymooners knockoffs were there?
Right. But
Even just in the 90s.
having because of what we've done with the two other ones, not Home Improvement, but is that if Living Single existed in a reality where these characters sort of as like a Black Mirror episode see Friends the show or see Friends in reality, not the show, they see Ross and Rachel and they're like, that's us. Like they literally have replicated their lives in New York, and then it becomes we must destroy them. It's probably not
a doppelganger movie.
Yeah, it's a doppelganger movie. It's us. Jordan Peele presents Living Singles or Living Single.
So it literally it's us.
Yeah. Also, as we've said from time to time, and with certain topics on the show, we're probably not the right people to pitch such an idea. I'm just going to put it out there.
We're lucky we got away with Family Matters.
No,
No,
that was
that's Full House.
That was Full House. How's the Family Matters one go? I know this one. I know the original theme song was Louis Armstrong for the pilot. The Milkman, the paper. No, that's...
They're all just full. Every time a new show came on, you just yelled the Full House theme song over whatever was actually playing.
How'd it go? It goes. I don't want to look it up again. It's in my head. Is this entertaining? As
I'm
days go by.
There you go. Yep.
Big
I can see it.
love
Yeah,
the
I can see it.
family.
Going- Running down the stairs a little bit, looking at the camera,
Smile. Steve trying to get in the door. They're shutting it on him. It's like,
coming in from the kitchen, looking at the camera.
see, this is the disappointment I have that modern shows don't have theme songs. Why did I file all these away? And now it's like it's like,
I just thought of a show.
what's that?
Charles in Charge.
Ooh, now that's 80s.
Is it?
That's 80s. Yeah, Charles
I
in
thought that
Charge.
was 90s.
No. Charles in Charge is definitely an 80s sitcom. Joni Loves Chachi. Charles in Charge series was
I don't believe you.
1984.
Really?
Yep. 5 seasons.
No.
Yes. Yep. He's looking it up, folks.
Got my sound on there.
1984 to 1990. So yes,
What
it was a
the
90s show.
I guess it's just because I watched it in the 90s.
I don't know. I kind of think we might have.
Did we top out at Saved
we
by the
typed
Bell?
out at Saved by the Bell.
That might be okay.
Because if we are going to get a fourth in here, you are verging into some, cartoon territory. Like the fact that Gargoyles has not been redone in animation or live action by Disney is the wildest thing to me.
Why?
Like that shows
It was perfect.
it was perfect. That the concept of the show, the effects that could be pulled off on television now or in a film, and the multiculturalism of that show. Keith David voiced Goliath. Elisa,
and that's all you need.
No, I'm just she was multiracial, and they dealt with. There's an episode where Bronx accidentally shoots the gun and shoots Elisa. Yeah,
Because the gargoyles don't understand guns.
they don't. He just thought it was cool because he saw a cowboy movie.
Did you know that? And it uses that character's name, Xanatos.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing. I don't know if it's like full actual philosophy, but I know it's like a TV. It's at the very least a TV trope named after him called Xanatos Gambit. Xanatos Gambit.
Okay.
It's literally where any outcome will benefit the character.
Whoa, that's amazing.
That's known as
Named-
a Xanatos Gambit.
And is it named after him?
Yes.
Wow.
Because in the show,
no
because
matter
in
what.
the show, no matter what, it was always no matter what happened, it was because he had planned it.
Yeah, it was all part of the plan. Every time
Yes.
anything went south, it was all part of the plan. Yeah.
And I think it's just a trope. It's not like a philosophical thing. It's
Okay. Well, we're sort of just like, but I
Yeah.
really do think we maxed out on Saved by the Bell. And now we've meandered the last 15 minutes trying to come up with literally anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to say here is, you listening, well, you sent the demand, Jim, so that's not entirely fair. Are you satisfied with what we've done here?
I think I mostly am. And I think the way I want the Max to work in Saved by the Bell is Max is also aware that he is trapped in this because he once made a malt that Zach loved, and that's why he is now in this forever.
He's trapped here, yeah.
And that's actually where Tori gets at first. That's where she actually starts getting real answers, and he sends her, "You need to go talk to Miss Bliss." Who?
Yeah, there we go. Someone who would know.
Yeah. Because she first gets these hints from Screech and Lisa, who don't want to talk about it. But then she goes to Max, who seems to know a bit more because he actually maybe she also learns from him just a little bit on how to manipulate it. And that's another thing Zach actually likes is, Max can manipulate time a little. That's why he keeps doing all these magic
He's
tricks.
a magician.
But he doesn't do so much that it threatens Zach.
Yeah. He's just a goofy little sideshow freak.
He's terrifying.
Yeah.
But that's what he makes himself to make himself non-threatening to Zach.
Yeah. And you know what? Max eventually disappeared from the show, so perhaps Zach offs him to raise the stakes to show just what Zach is capable of, like offing Max in front of Tori before she's banished to the timeout or whatnot.
Sure. Something like, it's an escalating thing. Like, how did you figure out how to do this, Tori? It's a thing I can do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see about that. And then he he to punish her, he then gets rid of Max.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I know who told you.
You can't lie to me. This is my world.
Yeah.
You're just
attending
it.
Yeah, you're just attending it. Yeah.
Well,
so there you go.
I will throw it to the listeners. What did you think of this demand today?
Would you watch any of these?
Would you watch any of these? So much so, is this some finale fodder here? Would you watch any of these? What sitcom of this 90s-ish era that Jim proposed here could you imagine doing some sort of cinematic version of?
Mm-hmm.
What you let us know. You can comment.
Whether it be a close to original or whether it be an insane reimagining,
like we gave you both of.
Yeah.
You can message us directly at studiodemands.com, or if you go to Instagram, you can message us there at Studio Demands It. You can also find this post directly if you want to comment for all the world to see on Instagram. If you're not already, you can subscribe to us. That'd be cool. You can do that, and maybe even give us a little review. You can do it in an app. It's fine. 5 stars, whatever. leave a review, whatever. You can also find us on YouTube and TikTok, where we post video content, including material not heard here on the show. Jim?
You can join the conversation over on Reddit at the subreddit r/Studio Demands It, and also on Discord. Go to our website, studiodemandsit.com, and there's a link to the Discord server at the top of the page, and you can come talk to us there.
See, look how confidently you do that.
Well, it's because that I'm getting it down. We're getting there. It's becoming a rote.
All right.
Thing.
If you don't know this, we have a Patreon. A couple bucks a month, you can get episodes early, commercial free. We have extended double length episodes as well as movie commentary tracks with episodes included within the commentary tracks, time stamped for your convenience if you don't want to listen to us talk and then sit in silence while watching a movie minutes at a time. You can just jump to the actual episode within the commentary tracks, or you can just show us some love by subscribing for free. Thank you to 6.5 Media for everything they provide for us. Please check out some of the other 6.5 shows if you're so inclined. Jim, unless you have anything else, I think that does it for this episode. This was fun. Thank you for doing this. This is great.
Good.
I had no idea what to expect.
Well, right, because we've had this plan to follow the algorithm and to follow releases, and so we didn't really have many openings. But this had occurred to me a few months ago, and I was just waiting for an opening, and
here it was. Well, we'll be back again soon with another one of your demands, not one of ours.
No,
one of your demands to challenge ourselves. And yeah, that's it. I'm TC.
I'm Jim.
And time out. Okay, now that Jim is frozen, I think all of you need to write in and convince me to have Jim do the opening without him knowing about it. It would be so thrown off. It would be crazy. Time in.
And that's the episode. So.
Yeah, and that's how we end it.
I'm not even gonna wonder why you're laughing nefariously.
And that's just between me and the listeners.
Wink.